I learned default answers that I picked up along the way from other ministers that were quite sinister. Of course I had to learn all these things if I intended to be a good pastor and bear fruit. We will skip for now that the Christian God is a male, which is the obvious clue that it isn't the Most High. The ultimate creator being gendered is erroneous, seeing that it would have to be way more than a he or she to create multiple universes, but we will go with it for now, not wanting to begin digging into his story. So this God did not find it important to save a family from grief and increase an old lady's faith. He would rather not heal the child and leave the old lady hanging on a limb, which made no sense to me. We will examine what happens here more closely as we take this journey together into the doghouse. I would like to state that it is clear that only one of two things are happening. Either the God cannot do it because of lack of power, or it does not want to just wave its hand and remove the problem for some unknown and strange reason called the will. After all, the God described in the Bible has so much power it can just wave its pinky and poof, a better world. The easier route would of course be to heal the child, which would build the old lady's faith even more, thus possibly convincing the parents of the sick child to attend church. But that is often what does not happen, in fact seldom any real miracles anymore, but lots of new cars. Why? My personal favorite was always God gave me a new car. I would think, oh really, did he give you a gas card for that new Hummer too? As you can see, Pastor Boma just wasn't cut out to carry the cloth after a while, and if I hadn't already made contact with Shekinah and various other unexplained beings, by that point I would have been out the door. Due to the paranormal experiences I had with 104 PAGE. These beings inside the church, I was able to at least come to the conclusion that there was still something alive invisibly orchestrating itself in the church. It wasn't all catharsis as they would like to make you believe. Spirits actually made contact. So then I learned a valuable lesson, which is what looks good does not always come from good. First off, because the language is backwards. When you say God, you really say dog. Don't laugh, this is something very serious. Many people have always been curious as to why God's name backwards spells dog. For a moment while carrying the cross I tried to make sense of it, so I leaned on the notion that the dog was God's opposite because dogs were very bad. This made no sense whatsoever, since many dogs are very kind, and plus there are much more evil things than dogs described in the Bible, like demons or the devil, which would be more like God's opposite. I could only conclude for a while that they all begin with D. Let us just think for a moment. If you were an all-intelligent God and you intended for your name to always mean good, you should probably make it something like Yay. That way no matter if a person pronounced it backwards or forwards, they would still get the same thing, right? Surely the creator of multiple universes, resplendent and furnished, would know this if his lowly creation could figure it out. Not to mention the creator of everything cannot be confined within names, numbers, vibrations, emitted from the human mouth, and if it did, it would be much too powerful for us to assimilate and then reproduce. It would be worth it to conclude that the gods, who are separate from the Most High, know exactly what they are doing down to a quantum level. Reason 87. This is the dog star Siriusa, the star of illumination for many secret societies including the Egyptians. They called it Sothis. Its symbol is the 5-pointed star. There is also Sirius B, called the pup, or esoterically Great 5. This is Anubis. 5 was the sacred number of Atlantis. 105 PAGE. As I began to look at a lot of the terminology being used in certain places, it seemed to take me closer to the truth as long as I was willing to take it literally. Our ability to discern what is happening is deteriorating because we think everything is just a coincidence, even though there is no such thing. It is of value to make note of the syncs or déjà vus of your life, also dreams. This is how the unseen ones communicate without swooping down on you in full flight, scarring the crap out of you, which would not accomplish the purpose intended. Many ask why the Most High does not just come down here and straighten things out. We say, shall the creation ask the Creator, why did you make me this way? Some even further claim that he did. I will venture out for a quick moment to imagine what the Most High is. This of course is very unwise, since I'm now trying to comprehend such a storehouse of catamount vicents of condescendionic beams. The wise, with 5 puny senses, and to add insult to injury I have to use English words, but here it goes. Pure unrestricted energy. Thus if the Most High arrives anywhere near our galaxy, well, welcome to the next life, because nothing can withstand such force based on common sense, physics, and mathematics. Anything that has come saying it is the Most High is a deceiver, and the truth cannot be found with them, and their works prove it along with their words. Notice that when people pray, as the word indicates, they actually are saying they are becoming the victim and are being hunted. That is after all what prey is. So who is the predator? Could it be a wolf? Where the pastor stands is called a pulpit, but what is being pulled into the pit? They call themselves saints, which is an anagram for satans. All books of power indicate the Most High is inside of you, so why do so many people when they pray imagine that God lives outside of them, possibly in the sky? This becomes one of many errors we make when we channel our energy to make contact. As it teaches in religions where chakra systems are at least discussed, focusing internally and concentrating on certain energy centers located in your body is one sure way to enlightenment. Once you have accomplished that, you begin to manipulate the energy through your chakras, which are the organs of your soul. Full activation of the chakras will bring an individual to clear unadulterated contact with the Most High. The real miracle is performed by the one who has trained their mind to bring about such phenomena without the assistance of an external being of invisibility causing the phenomena to take place. This does take a certain level of dedication that many have tried to get around. The result of cutting spiritual corners has always been an even greater setback to one's growth. There is no easy way because it is not hard, it has just been made to seem like it is. Once finally emancipated from being dependent upon the rules and false impedances of natural growth, you will clearly see our purpose here is to become complete. Not fused and packed together with followers who possess nothing of their own creative thoughts and are just reciting like robots what they learned from those before them that were also incorrectly being led about behaving like clones. 106 PAGE. On the flip side, when a person prays, they are in fact relinquishing their power and beginning a process of servant and master. Our planetary ether is saturated with multiple beings on various frequencies above what the untrained eye can see. The ear can detect some of the beings which will sound like a ringing in the ear. These beings have developed an outer aura encasing their body that makes them invisible, thus they can carry out their work on the material realm without notice. Their voices are whispers that people imagine as their own thoughts unless they are guided. The prayer of the individual, which is often known before the request is even made, is taken into account and a design begins. This is one of the powers of the all-seeing eye. We have way too much evidence linking the Christian faith to Atlantean, Egyptian, and Sumerian rites, sometimes being directly plagiarized from the originals. What I am saying in this case is if a person does their research, which can be done on the internet, and they still do not find the above statement to be true, they could be a victim of mind control, which is okay, we can work through that. Let us remember that the secret to mind control is never letting the person realize they are under its influence. When the ego is created, it will never admit that something like that could happen, it thinks it is too smart. Thus a perpetual system is in place keeping you stagnant, mind control, and the ego. It's time that we realize steel sharpens steel. The only person that can fix you is you. So as the book says, one should make a sober estimate of themselves every day to be sure they are not off the path and have not deluded themselves, all puffed up with pride which comes before destruction. Reason 88. Every part of the physical mind has been mapped. One will have to work with their spiritual mind to avoid delusions. Let us examine why it could be possible that the term God is more of a hidden term which traces to the land of Canaan and many other trails. Throughout our recent history, lots of attention has been put on the land of Canaan. This is the so-called promised land of the Hebrews. Most literature on Canaan is very non-descriptive as to the people that originally lived there, and this of course is done on purpose. Their religious beliefs, artifacts along with its true name often remain hidden and obscure. After much guidance, pieces began to come together. 107 PAGE. According to the story, when the cursed Cain slew his brother Abel, he was marked with a sign so that all who see Cain would know that he had been marked by God, thus they could not destroy Cain. It should seem odd that although